Doing this morning? Doing good?
I'll wait for Drew. Hold on.
Living the dream.
I'm rocking, I'm rolling.
There you go. That's something different. He's rocking and he's rolling. Fresh off of a fun weekend, I'm hoping.
Very relaxing.
Nice. That's what Crystal in the office said. She said, I didn't leave my house all weekend. I'm like, oh, that sounds fantastic.
Well, we did. Ended up going to Jerome, to the Spirit Room.
How was it?
Wonderful.
Nice.
I had been there, but I thought that was just the hotel. I didn't realize that was the Spirit Room.
Okay.
But, I got to tell you, All She Wrote, they had 3 new songs. First time they played them.
Wow.
And the place was packed. A lot of people dancing, lots of people dancing. So it was good. And, it was an afternoon show, so I didn't have to drive at night, which
That's fabulous.
Helps.
Yeah, especially coming home from
everything
Jerome.
was good. I'll tell you what, that little town was packed.
Popping.
Yeah, and then, of course, Sunday was just a good day to watch football.
Yes. Well, for some of you. My Chiefs, they got beat by the Bills yesterday. They're not undefeated anymore.
It's okay. It's okay. It's just going to make it good for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We could see a Bills-Chiefs matchup.
I mean, you could see them, winner takes all on that one.
Yes.
That was a hell of a game.
It really was. The Bills were on fire, and the Chiefs just ran out of time. They like to do that, wait till the very last minute and win. But nope, not yesterday. So a little bit sad about that. But they still are 9-1.
Yeah, it's
I mean, you can't complain about that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and then a bye week for our Cardinals, which is great.
Right. I don't know if you saw the Niners game, but that was a very good game.
I did not see it, but I heard they got beat by the Seahawks.
At the very end, Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Hey, give credit where credit's due. I've never seen him play like that.
Wow, how'd it end?
Right at the end, they scored with like 12 seconds left, and that was it.
Love games like that.
I mean,
Nail
it really
biters
came
to the
down
end.
to it. And but, it was nice. McCaffrey was back.
Yeah.
But Kettle was out. There was a lot of people hurt. So, but needless to say, that was a good game. And then of course, the game last night, which I just raced out.
Yeah, I didn't watch that game either. No.
But that was good.
Yeah, was that good? So, see, I didn't watch as much football as you did this weekend. Good for you.
Well, unfortunately, Jamie slipped and took a header.
Is she okay?
Yeah, I mean,
no.
she's just a little bruised.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when she hit the mat, which was cold, like a rubber mat, so it was like a slip and slide. She went to feed the dogs, and the dog food's all over the place. And,
I'm so
sorry. So anyway, we just went to Jerome, and then she's like, I think we're going to stay home. I'm like, great.
That's
so it was
good.
really nice to have a relaxing day. And
good. Good. Lots of good football.
I have a question for you, though.
Oh.
Is it okay to ask you a question?
Sure it is.
How was the cake?
The cake was amazing.
I wanted to find out about the cake.
Yeah, we went to a wedding cake tasting for Dempsey and Jake's wedding coming up in February on Saturday. And, I mean, that is just such a fun thing to do. They bring out all the flavors, just a couple bites of all the flavors, and you just, gorge yourself. And every bite was just as good as the last. I mean, and
it really comes down to that.
It really does. And I love the choice. I'm not going to say it because it's not my place to spoil it for those that are going, but going to be delicious. Let me just put it that way. Yeah,
Matt, you would like these tastings. They're pretty good, dude.
Yeah.
If you like cake, this is the way to go.
I'm a fat kid. Of course I like cake.
We also toured their wedding venue, which is the Secret Garden in Phoenix, and it's just beautiful. That's the great thing about your kids being almost 30 and planning their own wedding. They just make their own decisions, and then they show you what they've decided, and that's really fabulous. It's really fabulous. So that was I had a really fun weekend. Definitely. And, I mean, we kicked it off with the Badgers winning. I know that you and Phil broke down all the sports. We don't need to cover it all. But go Badgers. The Bradshaw Bears did lose, though.
They did lose.
Yeah, they did lose, so they're out. But the Badgers continue on, and they're on the road this Friday.
To Snowflake.
Yeah, so go Badgers. We're behind you 100%. ASU beat Kansas State on Saturday. Watched that game. That was a lot of fun. I watched the Tyson-Jake Paul fight. Did you watch it?
No, I just saw some of the highlights.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to get through it because Netflix had some issues. They couldn't keep up with the streaming, and it was buffering throughout almost the entire night. They finally figured it out by the last fight, by the Tyson-Paul fight. But then it was just It was sad. It was a bludgeoning. I mean, it could have been a bludgeoning. Jake Paul held back. You could tell. And I'm glad he did because he even said, he goes, there's no reason to hurt somebody that doesn't need to be hurt. Even though think of all the people Mike Tyson has hurt in his career.
He's going to hurt today and tomorrow and for a week. I don't care who you are. You're 58 years old. You have somebody beat on you.
I know.
No matter how good of shape you are, you're 58 years old.
But
and what is he, 23?
27, I think.
27?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
27. And, it seemed like Tyson spent most of the night biting his gloves. And then he said in an interview, I have a biting fixation. No, really?
Yeah.
We know.
No earrings for you.
We know, right? After the fight, Tyson tweeted that he's actually lucky he made it to the bell alive. Quote, this is one of those situations where you lost but still won. I'm grateful for last night. No regrets to get in the ring one last time. He said, I almost died in June, had 8 blood transfusions, lost half my blood and 25 pounds in the hospital, and had to fight to get healthy to fight, so I won. He called the fight, quote, an experience that no man has the right to ask for. So that's all good stuff. At one point, he looked like he was crying, though, in the corner.
Yeah, but he made $20 million, didn't he?
He made 20. Jake Paul made $40 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, for $5 million, I'll go in the ring and let him hit me once. I'll be out.
$1 million. I'd do it. Matt?
No. At least 2 or 3.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, because the surgery and the repair of my face will be at least $1 million.
You're not wrong.
So.
You're not wrong. Yeah, in a
I got nothing to lose.
in an interview, Paul said after the fight, he said he took his foot off the gas in the later rounds, and we could tell basically. And he added that he didn't feel much power in any of Tyson's punches. An estimated 60 million people watched the fight or tried to. Like I said, it was a slog there for a while, but the female fight before was awesome. They really
the women are vicious.
Well, I mean, it was one of got a slice above her eye. It was Rocky all over again. They can't patch those gashes during the fight.
Well, they can put butterflies on them, but they're not allowed to put any stitches.
They didn't
a lot of
put a
time they
butterfly.
do that cold press.
Yeah, they did the cold press. They did the Vaseline, but they did not put a butterfly, and it needed one. It was a flapping gash.
Oh man.
Yeah, but
brutal sport.
So anyway, that was kind of a fun thing over the weekend. What the fight? It was it was very hyped up. So it was
Vegas made money on it though.
Oh, I'm sure.
There was a lot of betting going on the Tyson fight.
Oh, I'm sure there was. So this was in the news this morning. This number might be even higher on a Monday, but a poll found that the average person spends 40 minutes a day wishing they were somewhere else or thinking about their next vacation. The average is 4 hours and 42 minutes a week.
No,
Seems
that's
low.
Yeah, no, that's really low.
I think Matt does it the entire hour he's here.
Pretty
every
much.
single day. So that right there is at least 5 hours.
Yeah.
Except for on
Minimum.
Fridays. You like Fridays.
Well, I still do it on Friday though.
You do. You still
Of
wish.
course.
Where do you wish you were?
Right now?
No, yeah.
Anywhere else.
Anywhere but here. Gee, that makes me feel great. How about you, Drew?
Oh, I'm probably thinking I should be on my bike riding somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Well, the top 10 places people wish they were right now, somewhere that involves really good food. Sometimes we have really good food here.
Yeah, when Barry comes in.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. At a festival, concert, or sporting event, at a cultural or historical location. No, thank you. I've had my share. On my vacation, I saw more history and heard more history than I ever want to hear for the rest of my life. At a theme park, at on an adventure. Now that's something I would like to do. Camping on an island, in the mountains, on a road trip, or the number one place people wish they would rather be is, guess.
Mosh pitting?
Their house, their home.
No,
No,
on the beach.
Yeah, I
On
was
the
going to say
beach.
probably the beach.
On the beach. Yep. Well, we're here now. We got to be present. Let's make the best of it, all right? Plus, today is Mickey Mouse Day. A-K-A K-E-Y M-O-U-S-E. Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse.
I thought it was Donald Duck.
Oh, jeez.
Would you smack him?
Can't
too
reach
far.
it.
He's
Yep.
too far.
All right.
Before Mickey became Mickey, the famous mouse was drawn as a rabbit named Oswald. Walt Disney changed his mind and made him into a squeaky voice mouse. Instead, on November 18th, 1928, Disney released the animated feature Steamboat Willie featuring Mickey Mouse. That original version is now part of the public domain. So print away. Put Mickey all over your T-shirts. That one anyway.
Oh, it already has been.
Oh, I know. Everybody.
Relentless. It's been,
Everybody.
I think, at least a year, maybe
Yeah.
more.
It's also Push Button Phone Day. The push button phone was invented in 1976. If you're old enough to remember rotary dial, you know the joy of never having to tear up your fingers trying to speed dial a pizza or a radio contest. That's funny. I remember rotary. Did you ever
we
have
had
a
'em.
rotary dial?
No.
Never.
Oh yeah, we had them.
Yeah. But you've seen one.
Yes.
You know what they are.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. So today is National Vichyssoise Day, celebrating the soup with an identity crisis. Served hot, it's just potato and leek soup. But if you chill it first and add some milk, the French call it Vichyssoise.
Well, they're the French.
Yeah, because they're fancy. They're fancy like that. Even though it's got a French name, it was actually invented at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in New York City in 1917. They say, sounding French, they could charge more for it.
Oui.
That's probably
Cold
true.
potato and leek soup. All right, that's interesting. So I hope you don't have a bag of baby carrots in your fridge. I know you don't, Matt.
I
But
do,
you?
actually.
You do?
Uh-huh.
Throw them out.
Oh.
Yeah. They say that one person has died and 15 people have been hospitalized after eating organic baby carrots that were contaminated with E. coli. This includes both whole and baby carrots, actually. Multiple brands have been recalled, including Trader Joe's, Bunny Love, O Organics, and Simple Truth. People in 18 states have been affected. The carrots were sold at stores like Target, Walmart, Kroger, Trader Joe's, and Whole Foods.
Oh, I'm good. I don't buy the organic stuff.
No, okay. You're
Because
fine.
they just charge you for, the word organic.
Well, and then maybe a little E. coli on the side.
That's a bonus.
On the side. They say not to eat baby carrots because they take all the little pieces and the ones that aren't good enough to sell whole, and they whittle them down to baby carrots. And the process of it takes so much energy that they say just get original carrot-shaped carrots.
But it's like $1 or $2 for a bag, and they're ready to go.
True.
Yeah, but they're not good for you.
They're not good. They're not as good for you.
As good.
Yeah.
They're better
But-
than eating like garbage. But
And don't they bleach them or something? They put something on
I'll
them.
tell you what. Just go to the farmer's market and go get their organics right there. They're unbelievable. They're
Yeah.
reasonable.
Yeah.
They're fresh, and you don't have to worry about any of this garbage that's
Any
on
of this garbage. That's
them.
right.
Garbage.
So listen to this. A gold pocket watch that was given to the captain of the Carpathia, the ship that rescued more than 700 Titanic survivors, has sold for a boatload of money. The 18-karat
Yeah.
Tiffany & Co. watch was auctioned off on Saturday in the UK and sold to an American buyer for almost $2 million. This makes it the most paid for piece of Titanic memorabilia to date. The previous record was set by the sale of the watch of John Jacob Astor, the richest man to die in the sinking. It was purchased for just $1.5 million.
Who was it? Tyson that bought it?
Probably Jake Paul. Yeah. And this is interesting, too. A new study from the iSeeCars.com is bad news for Tesla owners. Research shows that the Tesla Model Y has 3 times the fatal accident rate than the average car. Aren't they supposed to be safer? I guess not. They're just electric.
It's not that. It's that the people that are driving them
Yeah.
are always playing with that big screen instead of driving.
Right.
They're always watch them. They're
Right.
always screwing with that.
That's
thing.
a good point. That's a good point.
And they're preoccupied.
Right. Distracted driving. You've got
Exactly.
a computer on your dashboard. The Model S is twice as likely to result in a fatal crash. Tesla's autopilot and self-driving systems are both currently being investigated by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Kia, Buick, Dodge, and Hyundai were also in the top 5 car brands for fatal accident rates. Mini Cooper, not on the list.
Well, there's not enough of them sold.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Nothing.
Was that a dig?
Maybe a little bit.
To that little Mini Cooper. Let's see. Betty White is going to be on a postal stamp.
Wonderful.
Finally.
Isn't that fun? Yes. She's going to be one of the newest stamps coming in 2025. There's no exact release date. I know you're excited, Matt. Just settle down. We'll let you know as soon as it's released.
I was going to say, I'm standing in line already.
Yeah, some of the others on the list include the Appalachian Trail, baby animals, dahlias, and Lunar New Year, the year of the snake. You know, Betty passed away in 2021, just 1 week before her 100th birthday. What a bummer is that? You made it all this way. That's all I got.
It's true.
Yep, it is true. All right, let's move forward. It is Montoya Monday. Phil had Ted Gambogi on this morning. We've got Brandon Montoya. So Brandon will be up next here on Leza Live. If you want to ask him a question or have a comment for Brandon, give him a call. 928-541-1016 is our number. Right now, ladies, choosing the right OBGYN office is a crucial decision for women's health. At Prescott Women's Clinic, their dedicated team of compassionate professionals prioritizes your well-being throughout every stage of life with state-of-the-art facilities, personalized care plans, and a commitment to open communication. They strive to create a comfortable and supportive environment. From routine checkups to specialized care, their experienced OBGYNs are here to empower and guide you on your health journey. Trust Prescott Women's Clinic for comprehensive and compassionate women's health care. Make an appointment today at one of their 2 convenient locations, Prescott and Prescott Valley. Give them a call, 928-778-4300, or go online to PrescottWomen'sClinic.com. Welcome back. Welcome back to Leza Live on the News, 103.5 FM, KYCA, video streaming worldwide, live online at kyca.info.
Wait a minute, this is videoed?
That's why I had you fix your collar. I don't want you to embarrass yourself.
Good to know.
Worldwide.
Worldwide.
Yes,
oh
absolutely. I think we have 3 people watching, and one's probably my daughter in Toronto. But otherwise, yes, worldwide streaming. How you doing there, Councilman?
I'm doing great.
Yes, I saw you went on a big trip to
yeah,
Florida.
Florida. I'd never been to Florida before in my life.
What's your takeaway?
You know, I'm glad I live in Arizona.
Exactly. It's beautiful.
It was actually not the worst time of year to go to Florida. Because I guess the
Yes.
humidity wasn't as bad as it normally is.
Right.
And the heat wasn't as bad. So.
And it was humid and hot? A little bit?
The first part in Daytona
Yeah.
was pretty hot that first day.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it wasn't bad the rest of the time. We were in Tampa the rest of the time.
Okay.
And so it wasn't that bad.
Good.
But it was, I mean, it's just, it's a different, you know, a lot of southern draws there.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of y'alls.
Uh-huh.
You know.
For sure.
So
For sure.
I don't know. I like Arizona.
Oh,
I like to go visit other places, but I mean, you just got back from your big trip, right?
Yes, and it makes you appreciate your home
Right.
so much more when you go away.
Yeah.
So it's always recommended.
Yes,
It's recommended.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
it was fun though. It was a good trip.
Yes, and what was the purpose?
So we had two purposes. So the first purpose was going to Daytona Beach, which is where the other Embry-Riddle campus is. Actually,
Right.
there's 3 Embry-Riddle campuses,
Oh, is there
which I
really?
didn't realize.
Yeah, where's the third?
So there's Prescott, obviously, Daytona Beach, Florida, and then they have one in Singapore.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that's their worldwide.
Is that your next trip?
No, I don't. I'm not
Sure.
sure. I'm excited to go to Singapore,
Oh my
but
gosh.
maybe.
I would love to go to
Would you?
Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I-
just I'll go
All right,
in place of
you'll go my stead.
Yeah.
So it was the first part was to go and we met with the Embry-Riddle leadership, and we kind of toured their campus, which is it's kind of interesting. One of the interesting facts I thought was they're fully built out on their property that they have for Embry-Riddle,
Okay.
and so it is their total property that they own in Daytona Beach is a fifth of the size of their total property they have in Prescott.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're built out.
Yeah.
Like they can't do more.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference between their campus and our campus is their campus it literally abuts the airport.
Okay.
So they have some advantages that this campus doesn't in that
Right.
regard.
Right.
But the idea was to go and kind of show the leadership that, the city of Prescott we're invested in Embry-Riddle's future here.
Sure.
We wanted to kind of see like what new and exciting stuff they have going there, how that parlays into what they could do here. The idea I think for them is that they don't necessarily want to duplicate things that they already have that are successful there.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of look at the Prescott campus as an extension, right? So
Okay.
they want to build unique things here. So one of the things that's really cool is that they're doing a lot of private partnerships with big companies like Boeing.
Okay.
So we would love for them to look at doing some of that stuff here.
Sure.
The area that they seem to identify as having the biggest opportunity for that seemed like cybersecurity,
Okay.
which is one of the fastest growing components of Embry-Riddle here.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of it was good. Like I said, we met President Butler, met a couple of the folks from the campus here that kind of went out there to kind of see some stuff too with us. The chancellor for the Prescott campus was there. It was just really good. We spent all day, just really kind of getting in the weeds with Embry-Riddle folks. So
Yeah.
I loved it.
Fabulous. What are the plans for our Embry-Riddle here? Are they planning
So
on
right
expanding?
now, for
Yeah.
sure. So right now they're in the process of, I think, not the next council session that comes up tomorrow, but in I think one of the following ones, maybe in December, they have some expanded campus living.
Yeah.
Some dorms that they're going to do.
Right.
They're going to get approved, so they're doing massive dorms. They're going to kind of create, and it's been maybe a year or so since I've been out to the Embry-Riddle campus, so it was kind of weird because I was there and I was kind of like, they're like, well, on our campus it's kind of like this, and they were comparing it, they're walking us through it,
Right.
and I was like kind of having a hard time visualizing it. So one of the things we're going to do as a group is we're going to go back, the city manager and the mayor and Ted and I will go back and kind of do a similar tour of the Prescott campus.
Right.
Because I've seen all of Embry-Riddle's campus, but
Sure.
it's been in pieces through years, so the last 30 years I've lived here.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to kind of go and see. They have a visualization of their kind of creating more of a quad that they have there. So that's going to involve taking down some old buildings, moving some things around, and doing some big build-up. And they kind of have this. One of the things that was really cool at the campus that we saw was this massive student union they have. And so it's like a 3-story student union, and they really are sensitive to student input on it. And this is the exciting thing for the city manager and myself and my daughter, who doesn't know about this part yet, is that one of the things they're talking about in the Prescott equivalent, they'll put a Chick-fil-A in.
Oh. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A. I think we'll have Embry-Riddle will just be busy with people from Prescott coming to use the Chick-fil-A there.
Yes. I know that the U of A has a Chick-fil-A in their student union. When
Do
my
they?
daughter went
Yeah.
there, she was very excited. Yeah.
That was my first exposure to Chick-fil-A was
Is that
at
right?
ASU.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what it was, and it was 30 years ago now practically.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was Chick-fil-A, and you
Yeah.
go in and they had all the nuggets. You just grab it, walk up front,
Really?
Beautiful.
leave.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Beautiful.
awesome.
That's fantastic.
I think what you were doing, Matt, was stealing. So just
Oh well, I give them money.
no, I'm just
I
kidding.
give
Yeah,
them
you
money,
gotta
not
pay
much
before
money,
you
but
sit down.
No, but so they have expansion. So I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but the big thing that they have is that they're looking to expand the they're and I want to say if they have like maybe 3,000 students at Embry-Riddle right now on the Prescott campus,
Okay.
they want to get up to 5,000.
Okay.
Like kind
Great.
of like
So almost double.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and they know they can't do that kind of build out in Daytona anymore, where I think they had close to 8 or around there. So they want to grow.
Yeah.
And it's a question of, they're being very deliberate. And one of the things that was really interesting, one of the leadership people there said, the people who did the build out of the Daytona campus, they've kind of finished that now.
Right.
And so now those really smart and capable people are turning their attention to Prescott.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And the city has a partnership with ERAU.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
Oh, yeah.
We want that. We want to see
Yeah.
growth and
and there's a lot of opportunity at the airport. The Safer Complex, which is a acronym that I cannot remember what it stands for,
it's okay.
but it's related to it's basically giving Embry-Riddle students like easier access to the airport and kind of there's classroom facilities that are there for them too, and so we have a lease option with them.
Perfect.
And looking at more opportunities like that just to make it so that we're really kind of incorporating, because there's a lot of economic engine that Embry-Riddle creates for our community.
Absolutely.
You know,
especially if they add 2,000 more students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, I know some people are probably out there being like, oh no, not more 2,000 more students flying their planes, doing touch and goes. But the thing is, again, our cybersecurity component of what Embry-Riddle does is it's such a fast growing component.
Yes.
And those people are in really, really big demand.
Yeah.
You're still always going to have a lot of pilots. But those people, it's a really powerful major for those kids, and kids are coming out with those cybersecurity degrees, and they're like turning around making 6 figures, like like someone with an undergraduate degree.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
And also like air traffic control. There's so many other degrees you can get at Embry-Riddle other than just flight school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's really kind of the idea, and this has been the case the entire time I've lived in Prescott, is that you have these. Embry-Riddle kids have these, reputations of being really dedicated, smart kids. They're I don't want to say this in a weird way, but they're good kids. Like they're not getting into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
They're kind of, it's an expensive school to go to.
Right.
So like kids aren't going there like just to party.
Exactly.
And so the idea has always been, as long as I've lived here, is how do we, because they want to be here, right?
Yes.
And so you go to school for 4 years, and a lot of people are like, gosh, I wish I could just stay here. And so how do we find ways to do that? And I think it's working with, your companies like Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, and saying, hey, how do we make this work? Can you create a pilot thing out here? One of the huge advantages with like a Northrop Grumman is that they have a major campus in Los Angeles, and so we have that flight that goes to Los Angeles like
which
twice
we
a day.
love. We love. Yes.
Yeah, so there's a lot of opportunity to make it work. It's just kind of connecting the pieces and having a strategic vision. And like I said, the leadership at Embry-Riddle is just really, really on the ball and really, really capable with it. So we've got good things coming down the pipeline.
Love it. Love it so much. All right. More with Prescott City Councilman Brandon Montoya coming up here on Leza Live. So time is precious, especially when it comes to your dental health. And that's why Pro Solutions Dental Group is proud to offer same-day dental technologies. Imagine walking in with a dental problem and walking out with a solution all in one visit. Whether you need a restoration, repair, or makeover, their skilled team utilizes advanced techniques to streamline your dental care. No more waiting around or making multiple trips. Get the smile you deserve today with Pro Solutions Dental Group. Call now and discover the convenience of same-day dentistry. 928-776-1208 or online at PrescottDentist.com. Welcome back, and thank you for hanging out with us. It's Leza Live on the News 103.5 FM KYCA. It's Montoya Monday here on Leza Live.
Rolls right off your tongue.
It really does. I love the alliteration of it all. Prescott City Councilman Brandon Montoya in with us, like he is every month, which we appreciate.
Well, I love doing it.
Yes, thank you. Well, let's talk a little bit about the voter approval of Prop 478.
Yeah, it was not.
Yes.
It was not. I was worried it was going to be close. I think it was kind of overwhelmingly passed.
Right.
So that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. And now, what are the next steps for
So-
improving the city's infrastructure?
What's great about this is that
Safety infrastructure.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's good. Good clarification.
Yeah.
What's great about this is that we're in a place where when we did our budget approval process this year,
Mm-hmm.
earlier this year, we had contingencies for it passing,
Okay,
right? And so
right.
we didn't want to get it. Obviously, there are contingencies for a reason, right?
Sure.
So if it doesn't pass, then we don't have to spend any money. It did pass, and so we're able to move forward. Like we're able to hit the ground running
Okay.
because the actual tax collection won't start until next year.
Okay.
And so because of that, the funding won't be there immediately.
Sure.
It takes a minute, and part of it is the mess that the state legislature has made of this, where they collect our local tax dollars and then send it back to us at their convenience.
Doesn't make any sense.
It does not to me either. But at any rate, what's nice is that Chief Bonnie and Chief Dura have kind of already kind of, because this whole process was a staff-driven process,
Mm-hmm.
they've kind of already got a game plan in place.
good.
And so they're able to hit the ground running.
Mm-hmm.
They've been identifying positions, hiring, probably, some of it's, they've been putting out the positions like we're going to hire,
Mhm.
and they were waiting to see if they could move
Sure.
forward, right? So you start that process because I think when I was talking to Chief Bonnie recently, I think that the cycle time for someone who is say an 18 or 20-year-old guy or woman who wants to be a police officer,
Mm-hmm.
it's 18 months
Yeah.
before they saying, hey, I want to be a police officer, to then going through the academy and then being in a car.
Right.
And then when they're in that car that first year, they're supervised, right? And so it's kind of so then you're it's really it's a long time before you actually get that FTE.
Mm-hmm.
The fire department is a little bit quicker, and we're able to kind of leverage some lateral recruitment sometimes
Mm-hmm.
from other communities, but it's hard. And kind of what this does, I think, yes, we're going to start and we're in final phases of identifying where we're going to locate fire department or fire stations, co-location with some, police substations as well. We're working on those processes. Some of it is really understanding future development patterns in Prescott to know, okay, there's going to be a road here. Where does it make the most sense if we've got to navigate a fire truck and it's got to respond? Because, as the proposition kind of drove towards, we're trying to solve really bringing down response times.
Yes, absolutely.
And so it's full pedal to the metal.
Yeah.
It's exciting because it's a big deal. It'll allow us to really kind of have a lot of ability to solve our public safety needs now, but also, and this is the thing, I quibbled a little bit with some of the folks who were talking about 478 because I didn't want people out there thinking, oh my gosh, we're in danger.
Right.
There's a rampant, people's houses are burning down.
Right.
People are getting mugged on the square. That's not happening.
Right.
It's a great, safe community that we live in.
We want to keep it that way.
Yeah, we want to keep it that
Mhm.
way. And part of that is thinking not just the next, 2, 4, even 5 years, but 10
Right.
years down the road.
Right.
And really planning for that and building up the infrastructure. And so now the great thing is we have the capacity to do that.
Right. Excellent. That is good news for the city
Yeah.
of Prescott, for sure. All right, we're going to take another break. When we come back, let's talk about the City Economic Development Strategic Plan
Yes.
that will be presented at a study
Study-
session on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, all the details on that coming up with Prescott City Councilman Brandon Montoya here on Leza Live. So we have a winner chicken dinner. The Artful Eye Jewelers have awarded Jeff H. a $1,000 shopping spree. Jeff is actually a female with the name Jeff, and she's the lucky winner. Is going to be choosing a lot of Artful Eye jewelry to add to her jewelry box. Stay tuned for the next big giveaway at the Artful Eye Jewelers. And put this on your calendar. Black Friday is coming up, okay? So it's a week from this Friday. And at the Artful Eye Jewelers, you can experience some great specials from 10 to 5:30. The first 30 shoppers will get an Artful Eye goodie bag containing jewelry. You heard me right. There will be jewelry in the goodie bag. First 30 shoppers. One lucky shopper will receive a pair of 1 carat weight lab diamond stud earrings valued at $900. Look at that. Your biggest gift done if you win it. 60% off selected jewelry. Enjoy an additional 10% off all day. That's at the Artful Eye Jewelers coming up on Black Friday, 10 a.m. You're going to want to get in line to get that goodie bag. You'll see me there. I'm going to have to leave the show a little early on that Friday so I can get
Do we
in line.
have a show on Black Friday?
That's a good question.
I think
a
we
great
shouldn't.
question.
It should be a national holiday,
Okay,
right?
perfect. Done and done. That's at the Artful Eye Jewelers, Middle Whiskey Road, downtown Prescott. Welcome back. Thanks for spending some time with us on a Monday morning. It is Montoya Monday. Prescott City Councilman Brandon Montoya on Leza Live here this morning. And we should talk about the City Economic Development Strategic Plan that's going to be presented at a study session coming up on Tuesday.
Yeah, this is actually really exciting because this is something that council has been working on for months at this point, right? So we brought in these consultants who are a really good group, and they worked with Sherry Heine at the Prescott Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
She did a similar economic development study that's more of like a regional one, right? And so what's great about using the same folks is that they already have access to that knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're putting that into play here. And, I think even with 478 passing, we, as a city, we really need to be focused on economic development.
Sure.
Because that's like kind of, it's our lifeline in some ways, right? You can have whatever tax rate you want to have, but if people aren't doing activity to spend money in your community, then that's not really great, right? And so I'm really excited for these folks to come and kind of share key takeaways that they've done, and the process they've done has been really cool too for me as a council person. What they did was They interviewed each council person individually before they started, and they
Okay.
kind of said, "Hey, what do you see as economic priorities? What do you see as strengths? What do you
Mm-hmm.
see as weaknesses?" And then they got us all in a room together, and we kind of hashed that out. They presented us with information, and then told us what they thought as the consultants that were strengths and weaknesses, and then they came back again and had a follow-up meeting and said, we've met with additional stakeholders. And so it's not just a council-driven product. They've talked to business owners all over the community. They've talked to stakeholders like by College, Embry-Riddle, YRMC. They've talked to all these players within the community to kind of say, hey, what do you see as the economic future for Prescott in the next 10 years?
Yes.
And so they're going to share their takeaways. One of the things that they've shared with me that I think is really cool is this idea of kind of doubling down on our strengths, which are the obvious strength, one we've already talked about this morning, which is Embry-Riddle, right? So there's like a huge node of, kind of economic activity we can create around the airport and Embry-Riddle, cybersecurity, all that stuff. There's a huge opportunity there.
Sure.
So how do we foster that? The other node that they talked about is healthcare, right? How do we foster that as well? And that looks a little bit different. That involves maybe working a little bit more closely with by College and YRMC. And so those things create vibrancy within our community. And the part that I'm really excited about is that I see a possibility if we do this right. The number one complaint that I get every time I talk to people, right? There's always the issue du jour, right? Which is like, sometimes it's the rodeo, sometimes it's the Sundog Connector, sometimes it's...
There's always something.
But the number one thing that after you get past whatever the hot item of the day is, people talk about access to healthcare providers.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And people don't understand, I think, that part of the reason we have challenges with healthcare providers is because, if you're a medical student graduating from medical school, chances are you're carrying about $400,000 in student loan debt on average.
Right.
$300 to $400,000, depending on where you went to school, all that stuff. That's basically a mortgage payment.
Yeah.
Like for most people,
Sure,
right?
Sure.
And so the idea is that those people, we need to create economic opportunity where they can say, I've got a great place for my kids to go to school. I've got a great place where my wife can work or my husband can work. And so there's economic opportunity that way.
Right.
So
to keep them coming.
Yeah. And so it's
staying.
And it's like I said about the Embry-Riddle folks. We have these kids who are, coming out of college and they're just really, really bright, really, really good people, the ideal kind of model citizens that you want. They volunteer in this community. They serve this community in various ways. You want those people to stick around.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so, but you've got to create economic activity, and you've got to create, it can't just be all. For so long, I think in Prescott we've been tourism focused, which is great. I love tourism is great, and I love
especially with the sales tax now.
Yep. And I love people coming up from Phoenix and spending the weekend and then going back home. Like leave your dollars here and go back home. And yet we do need really vibrant economic future activity here.
Yes.
I think about my daughter, 18, going to graduate college or graduate high school, go to college next year, and I don't know that she'll come back. Right. And not that she should or has to or needs to.
Right.
But I don't think she said to me, Dad, I don't see how I would come back. And that is the part that I think we need to solve is there still needs to be that opportunity for people to come back if they want to.
Right. And that includes housing too.
Yeah.
Because, we're so overpriced for those people that are coming out of college with a $400,000 student debt.
Yeah.
And, to be able to afford a home as well.
Yeah. And it's one of those things. If you create enough kind of, I think, diversity within your economic opportunities that exist here, it does solve some of those housing supply issues too.
Right.
That's a longer term kind of approach, but it does work.
Yes. Excellent. Okay, so that's taking place on Tuesday.
Come tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. Everybody's welcome.
Yeah.
Fill the house.
Yeah. Typically, the only time we fill the house is when people are angry. But I mean, if you're excited about economic, it's even if you can't make it, go to the city's Facebook page or the YouTube page, because the folks that we had run the consultants we brought in, they're really, really smart people. They're really, really working hard, and they're invested in our success, which is kind of exciting.
Fantastic. All right. Well, we'll be excited to hear what transpires during that meeting. Okay, more with Prescott City Councilman Brandon Montoya coming up here on Leza Live. Stay with us. And we're back. It's Leza Live on the News 103.5 FM KYCA. Prescott City Councilman Brandon Montoya in this morning. And we've got to talk about how Prescott is Arizona's Christmas city. And we were just named. What?
I was going to say, can you hear Mariah Carey singing in the background?
Oh, Matt, could you?
It's no. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But have you seen those things right after Halloween?
Yes.
They do the thing where Mariah Carey starts warming up.
Yes. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny. But did you hear that Jason Kelsey and Stevie Nicks
I'm really no. I've no.
They recorded a Christmas song and it surpassed Mariah Carey's
No.
"All I Want for Christmas."
No.
Yeah, in pre-Christmas sales. So we might have a new
Wait,
Christmas queen.
Jason Kelsey and who?
Jason Kelsey and Stevie Nicks. Isn't that just so random?
That is wild. Is it a good song?
I haven't heard it, but it's got to be fabulous.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I'm being sarcastic.
Does Jason Kelsey have pipes on him?
I don't know, but apparently somebody thinks so. Somebody's buying that record. But anyway, yeah, we just have been named in the top 10 towns to celebrate Christmas, which is fantastic.
I mean, unless we're number one, those people weren't doing a good list.
Exactly. But still, 10 out of our United States of America.
We do 6 weeks of Christmas.
I know
basically.
we do. Yeah, we really do. We start the weekend of Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
and we do something every weekend until
What is your favorite?
the boot drop.
What is your boot drop? Is your favorite?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've hosted it for almost every year.
Right, so taking the boot drop off the table because
Okay,
you have
what's
a
the
bias.
next?
Yeah, what's the next?
It's got to be the parade and the courthouse lighting all in one day. But then there's Acronite.
See, that's for me. It's Acronite.
So that's really an unfair question to ask me because I love them all.
Acronite is mine.
Yeah.
And the reason I love Acronite is because you can go as a group.
Yeah.
And you can kind of be like, all right, let's do this as a group.
Right.
Or you can kind of say, hey, I want to go see these people.
Right.
Or I want to go to these places.
Yes.
Or you can kind of just say, and this is what my wife and I do, is
Yeah.
I just kind of want to bop around, explore, pop into one, pop into another. And then you hear some really good music and you're like, oh, I didn't even know this.
It's amazing. It's
and
amazing.
I also love that the performers take license. You can go get Christmas carols and that kind of stuff if you want to, but you don't have to.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's funny, I was telling our city attorney last year was the first year that he'd been in Prescott for Christmas.
Right.
And I said, oh, you got to do Acronite. And he's like, really? And I said, yeah. I said, all the other stuff is cool. You know, it's kind of, I will say, I love the courthouse lighting too. I love the parade. I'm usually in the parade.
Yeah.
So I don't get to watch much of the parade.
Right.
So, but I guess in my thinking, a lot of those are kind of like we were talking about with travel. Like it's touristy things,
Yeah.
right? Like the Acronite to me is like the quintessential local thing that you get to do.
Yes.
And it's such a special thing, and I just love it. And it's for a good cause too.
It's for a great cause, and so much talent in our community.
Well, and that's the other thing that blows me away too.
Yes.
You've got like
how good everybody is.
Yeah. You're not like no one's pitchy.
Right. Exactly.
Matt, what's your favorite?
Yeah. What's your favorite event during the?
Acronite all day.
Yeah. You
Got
love
to be
the
Acronite.
I don't know any other community. I'm sure there probably has got to be someone who's doing something like the Acronite.
Right.
But
You'd think.
I've never heard of any other community that does that. and it's just, what I love about it too is every year it seems to like kind of the boundaries of it seem to grow.
Exactly. More and more businesses involved, more and more performers involved, and now they're having they're having a shuttle bus, which is so smart.
Is that from the high school?
No, it's from the Yavapai College.
Okay.
Which is so smart because that's one of the biggest complaints from locals is we can't find a place to park, so we're not going to go down. It's too crowded.
See, if you once you get past the years of 20 to 30-year local, you just know the secret hiding spots of where you park.
You really do. You do.
I mean, that's me. Like, I can find I have shown up to the Christmas parade 5 minutes before I'm supposed to be there.
Well, I do that too.
and I know where to park.
It might include going through some barricades that say street closed, but that you got to be creative.
You got to do what you got to do.
As long as the cops jump out of the way, you can go through the barricade, right?
Exactly. Well, and I always say I'm in the parade, and they're like, "Oh, okay, come on in."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think last year during the parade, I parked over by the Santa Fe Depot place.
Yeah.
And I just made a parking space.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I'll either get towed or I won't. And then I came back and someone had parked behind me.
So you were blocked in.
No, not quite. But I was like, well, someone else saw it. They're like, well, I guess if this guy made a parking space, I'll turn it to parking space.
I guess if our Prescott City Councilman parked there, it's okay.
I know. I have all my stickers on the back of my car too, so I knew that they were probably like, well, Brandon Montoya thought it was fine.
Right.
So you're the one that blocked me in at my office.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Yeah, sorry.
Crown Vic, right?
No, that was not in the Crown Vic.
That's
the
new.
Crown
He
Vic.
just got the new old
the
car.
new one.
I'm gonna try and figure out a way to outfit the Crown Vic so I can take it in the 4th of July parade. That's
Right.
my big goal.
Okay. Do it. You
Yeah.
have to do it.
Yeah.
Super fun. Well, yeah, we just had the entire committee from Prescott's Christmas or Arizona's Christmas City in last week, and they're doing so many things.
Well, the guy from Jersey Lily, I always forget his name.
Josh.
Yeah. Josh came to our last council meeting 2 weeks ago and shook down every council person.
Good.
And so he does it every year. And what I love about this is the kind of the standard is every council person gives him $100 from the dais.
Perfect.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And so I've done it every year that I've been on council, obviously.
Right.
And this year I was like, I went to the bank to get the $100 and I asked him to give me $100 in once.
That's funny.
And so then when he came up, I pulled it out of and it was a
just
wad.
stack.
And people were like, "Whoa!" And then I made the draw. It's like they're ones.
Well,
and
don't say that next time. Put a 100 on top of the ones, you know,
there you go. That's
or
fair.
a 50.
Yeah, it was funny though, and so I think next year.
Yeah.
When he comes,
You're
probably
gonna do coins.
I'm gonna do coins.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try and get a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, if you can find that many coins out there.
Just I don't know what I think pennies would probably be insane. So I can't do pennies, but maybe nickels.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, yeah.
Fill a small wheelbarrow.
The Friends of Jersey Lily raising so much money to keep Prescott lit, and,
and
all the money goes to the courthouse
the
lighting.
The background behind that story is so great, too, that they're like, why is it dark on our side? And they fixed it. You know, and that's what I love about that. That is the small town local approach to Prescott.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And if you guys want to donate to the cause, you can do it through Jersey Lily.
They have ornaments they're doing now, right?
They are. They are doing ornaments that people can sponsor, businesses can sponsor. And you get all the information on, I forget the website, but it's Arizona's Christmas City's website.
All right, we got to go.
We got to go. That's the music. Thank you so much, Councilman. We love having you on.
Always a pleasure.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Dan Bongino's up next. We'll see you on the radio back here tomorrow.